Anyway, Sidanine, I believe I was there with my dark elf. Anyways, and the usual tedious complications involved in operating this half-civilized land. Set out for the village of Morag near the ruins where we hope to hire a party of diggers. My interpreter, Tuanpani, an unusual jolly fellow for a dark elf whom I hired in Sudanine at the recommendation of the local garrison commander, and the local villagers will be very familiar with Kimmelze, who was site for generations. And Tenpenny, as soon as we came to call him, for his constant amusement, Emmanuel, and I would recommend him without hesitation to any of my colleagues who were planning similar expeditions to the wilds of Morrowind. At Morag, we ran into... God's sake. Let me read. A jellyfish? That's a coast of Autumnfell. Narag, we ran our first trouble. And the villager reserved elegant old fellow. But the local priest representing the observed religion they have here, worshipping something called the Tribunal. They claim to live in palaces in Morrowind. Certainly against the excavated ruins, he looked like he sway the villagers. I always talk of religious taboos, but I waved the Empress's letter under his nose, telling about my friend the garrison commander at Saint-Denis, and he quieted right down. Don't break you. God damn it. Good, go for him, please. And he quieted it down. No doubt this was just standard negotiating tactics arranged villagers to increase their pay. In any event, that priest is stalked off, muttering to himself and calling down curses upon the heads of the foreign devils. We soon had a line of villagers eager to sign on to the expedition. My assistant was working out the mundane details of the contract, supplies, etc. So Orm and I rode on to the ruins. By land, they can only be reached using narrow paths that wind down the cliff from above. There, any misstep and send one stumbling into the sea, foaming about the jagged rocks below. The original entrance to the surface must have been loosely to northy. It's the part that fell into the sea long ago when an eruption of Red Mountain and his mind-bogglingly vast crater. Successfully navigating the treacherous path, we found ourselves a large chamber up in the sky on one side, dissipating the darkness on the other. As we stepped forward, our boots crunched on piles of broken metals, common in dwarven ruins as potsherds and other ancient sites. The obvious where the looters brought their finds from the deeper levels, and other valuable outer casings of the dwarven mechanism leaving their innards here. Easier than lugging the intact mechanism back to the top of the cliff. To myself, thinking that the many warriors unwillingly walking around Tamriel with pieces of dwarven mechanism on their backs. That, of course, is what most dwarven armor really is. Armored shells of ancient mechanical men. I said word when I thought of how exceedingly valuable an intact mechanism would be. Now be full of dwarven devices, judging from the litter and the floor of this vast chamber. Ep8's coming for me. Was it worth it? Judging from the rat bin, I reminded myself I've been working with the site for centuries. Just a kissing alone would be worth a small fortune. Sold this armor. When your armor is made of mismatched pieces from various devices, hence the reputation of being bulky and wieldy. That chap from an intact mechanism worth more than its weight in gold. These all fit together smoothly, and the wearer hardly notices the bulk. No intention of storing my finds for armor, no matter how valuable. I have to sigh for scientific study. Imagine and astonished my colleagues that I unveiled it at my next lecture and smiled again. 4 abominations. Vinicius Imbrex, Archbishop of Chirel, first era 1051 to 1087. Sir looked upon the world of mortals, and he found it afflicted by abominations. Like me in Skyrim. Been known unto his priests, resolutes, yep, I see that down there. And Templars, these unnatural profanities run in sight and are to be exterminated by the righteous without halt or mercy. Abominations are each and every the eternal enemies of the mortals of the mundus, that be suffered to abide among us. Neither man shall foreign kind, and maybe known. Thusly the day drew is unworthy, words that are not of the mundus, but come from the building to inflict cruel and death upon the mortals of Tamriel. Man beasts to those mortals who, through traffic with the bestial her son, in your skin for those of animals, preying thence upon the innocent. I don't, but you still assault me in my own home. And corpses, those restless undead whose running bodies persist with loathsome and unnatural vigor, bringing fear and agony on the living, the deathless vampires, hate horrifically about honest citizens regarding righteous morals, mere cattle to sate their only hunger, and all these four missions, march and gather to slay them where they appear. Alchemy, I already did that. Oh, cool. Maybe they were there already? Yeah, because they're not the... I don't know if they're the same group from before. I don't think so. Oh, I got both of them. Why am I doing so much damage now? Huh. I'm always confused. How do bones stick together? Is it apparently sinew, I think? No reading from me anymore. You know that's probably for the best. Yeah, they're just like falling now. I don't think so. Oh no. Mace etiquette, or I read that. Or I read that. Let's see, petty thief, okay. The buying game. So there's no barter system in this game? Well, I say barter system. Maaldeo, Timsar, Dedison. So, many people simply buy the items they need at the price they're given. It's a sad state of affair. The game is really open to all. You don't need an invitation. It is a game. You're bargaining to be played seriously, and I hasten to add politely. And elsewhere, it is common for shop owner to offer the prospective buyer tea or sweetmeats, getting polite conversation before commencing business. This eminently civilized tradition has practical purpose, allowing the buyer to observe the wares for sale. It is considered polite not to accept, though it does not imply obligation on the part of the buyer. This particular custom is part of the culture of non. To the buyer and seller to greet one another smiles and warm salutations, like gladiators honoring one another before the battle. You can expect all of Tamriel, but the game can be broken if one's offer is so preposterously low that it insults the shopkeeper. You offer something for 10 gold pieces, try offering 6, see where that takes you. Do not look like you're very interested. Mark the quality of the goods, even if you deserve it. Show to admire the quality of workmanship, but comment that regretfully you simply cannot afford such a price. Try to give a compliment to your taste, and you smile, try to resist the flattery. A lot of the game depends on recognizing the types of shopkeepers. Quickly assume that the rural merchant is ignorant and easily fooled, or that the rampacious city merchant is selling shoddy merchandise. Organization merchant are always good places to go to buy or trade. Knowing what you're buying, and who you're buying from is a talent bought only after years of practice. Especially certain regions and merchants where you can set foot in a shop. Prejudice is the region of Morin, where I hail from. Merchants of you with a certain amount of suspicion. Don't be surprised or insulted as shopkeepers follow you around the shop. You're going to steal something. Similarly, Nords, Bretons, and Cyrodiils are sometimes bullied by merchants in the Somerset Isles. Of course, I don't know any shopkeepers anywhere, no matter their open-mindedness, who aren't alerted when a Khajiit or Bosmer enter the shop. Khajiit and Bosmer shopkeepers are aware of their own kind. If you see something you really like or need, buy it then. And then they're at the best places you can get. I cannot tell you how many times I passed up a rare and interesting relic, and I could find it elsewhere in the region, perhaps at a larger town for a better price. Till I discovered I was wrong. When I returned the shop weeks later, the item I wanted was gone. The bats were here, though. Is it worth it? No, when I returned, I was gone. Better to get a great purchase at a decent price, or to get at a wrong price than to miss out or at a worse price. Set on your opportunities for ownership. Occasionally, impulsiveness is the best buying strategy. Since the moves of the game and everyone can win. For fuck's sake. You don't think the spirit shard's back, do you? Let's dance. Daughter of the Nobbin, there we go. Marvel Part 1, my Cynthia Longleat. Oh, most charming towns, and Cyrano sparkling in her simple beauty, assisted by her past. No visit southern. For fuck's sake! How many bats does this cave gotta get? No visit southern part of the Imperial Province is complete without. It's complete without a walk around Beville's exciting Riverport. Talk with the friendly native children, of course, in the tradition of the village. Third word to the famous statue of the lucky old lady. Many thousand years. Oh my god. We're level 100. I'm gonna be max level by the time I'm through this dungeon. Children, many thousand years before the arrival of that morons, the native alien people who had long lived in the vicinity of modern-day Breville, and then, as now, provided food and transportation, the village was even more populous than it was today. Not certain they recalled the region as insular as it were. They used would be translated to simply mean home. These savage aliens were entrenched at the Breville region, one of the very last areas to be liberated by the Elysian army in the 2nd century of the First Era. Although little remains of that era culture or archaeology, thank Mara, the tales of debauchery and depravity have entered the realm of legend. The aliens were able to survive such a long siege debated by scholars. They all, however, grant the honor of the victory from the Empress Alessia's centurions. A man called Tio Brevilis Tassus, the man for whom the modern town is now named. It was said he invaded his village no less than 4 times after every resistance. And upon the morning dawn, all his soldiery within would be dead, murdered. By the time more century had arrived, the fortified town had repopulated with aliens. Second successful invasion, secret underground tunnels are found, filled in, but once again, come morning, the soldiers were again dead, and the citizens in return. The successful siege legion and posted outside the town, watching the roads and riverways, trying to attack, but no came. The next morning, the bodies of invading cities were thrown from the parapets of town walls. Heroes knew that the aliens must be hiding themselves somewhere in the town, waiting until nightfall, and murdering the soldiers while they slept. The question was where. He himself led the soldiers, and in a thorough inspection of every corner and every shadow, just as they were ready to give up. The great centurion noticed 2 fucking bats. I see the bats up there now. Do I even want to bother? I'm getting 1 experience point now. Great. Nuclear sings high. In the sheer world of the town beyond anyone's ability to climb their indentations and their platforms. I want to fucking die. It's like, for God's sake. Like, why is there a library down here if I'm not allowed to read it? you discovered a single footprint from someone clearly not wearing the Imperial boot. Aliens seem to have taken 2 routes to hide themselves. Related up to the walls and themselves high above, and then slipped into the river, able to breathe underwater. It was a relatively easy task. Strange holes and strange riding holes have been discovered. And see to it that there are no midnight assassination of the Empress's troops. Beyond belief that the entire community can be so skilled in these spells hundreds and hundreds of years before the Mages Guild teach the ways of magic up to common folk. There does, however, seem to be evidence that Surgics in the Isles of Ortium developed mysticism long before there was a name for it. And even more obscure aliens of southern Cyril developed was to be known as the Skull of Alteration. Not after all, much of a stretch when one considers that other aliens at the time of Revel's conquering later were shapeshifters. Community preached Revel not turned to beast monsters, but they could alter the body to hide themselves away. Relating useful skill to be sure, but not so effective to save themselves in the end. There is Sankator. I give it 2 sec. Oh, I already read this, I think. Yes. Thank goodness. They can't even hurt me anymore, really. Hanging Gardens of Waston Cordell. Isn't there supposed to be Hanging Gardens of Babylon or something? When German translate the Aldmeris. Only fragments of the Aldmeris are readable. Maybe enough for a scholar of Aldmeris to translate fragments of the drawing book. The foot flames of the town center where lay the dead quadrangular gardens. Foundations and changes the vessel naming the place. While they did not use solid sand, each escaped from the earth bones or nourished them with full flames. A word I shall have once written of this art. It doesn't speak with their admirable ignorance, but neither words nor experience cleanses. Only have once written of the art or lesser cousins speak of when their admirable ignorance, but neither words nor experience cleanses the essence of strange and terrible ways of defying our answers of transient rules. Ends with a comment on Twimmer on a different hand, which may be translated as follows. The art in cutting globes and the armor says the correct words, but they cannot be probably misinterpreted. Because the thing is, like, the Hanging Gardens is... Or that... Oh my god, there's so many books! Yeah. And they were sold by a Khajiit father to his cub, making, I don't know, what's the difference between Khajiit and Khajiit? In camp with one of their caravans, I've attempted to transcribe it, and he told it, for the Khajiit do not often speak of their history to the outsiders. And in truth, I do not believe he would have spoken at all, but for the vast helping of moonsugar he had consumed that night. Come and warm your fur by the fire, my sure, that means student or child. And I'll tell you how Dro Zero, that's like venerated or something. You guys all Khajiit and a Dro Zero I took in this case to be an honor and ancestor, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Ancient Khajiit heard the great war of Alkosh, the great cat king of time, known as Akatosh Emperor, and Aldmeri and Skyrim raised to his voice. In 3 days' time they crossed the whole Tamriel, resting not even for the moonsugar, for such was the speed of Khajiit then. They joined the pride of Alkosh and were his strongest warriors. Lorkash, at his shore of the Nords, however, chose to give his roar to the raw Wolvarth, despite the Khajiit warriors, so he was jealous of the devotion to Alkosh. Numerously, the Khajiit warriors, Wolvarth, numbering himself to death using the roar that Lorkash had given him, left him a sir and second up to move to the fullness in the sky. Khajiit warriors became cinch, but Lorkash stripped them from them all reason. I don't understand what half that means. When Wolvarth returned to sink his fangs in the Red Mountain, he called upon his people to aid him. Drozir was the only among the Rojit who still remembered, and so was the only one who answered to the summons. No bards or expletive remove. Not seeing of how the great Ash King rode Drozir up the Red Mountain itself to strike at the heart of the Dunmer. Never is it mentioned how Drozir pounced atop Dumalkath, a dwarf orc, when he had his blade to his throat of the Ash King so they could not speak. They sing of how Lorkash returned Drozir from the land of Shigorath for his brave. Is it not Shigorath? It's Shigorath? Shigorath? For his bravery and for saving the Ash King. So when you find a bard who speaks ill of the Khajiit, you be sure to leave him an iron claw in the back to remind him who saved Skyrim. As to the rest of the Rojit, they grew small and lost their cunning altogether, which is why you should not hesitate to strike them down when they approach the wagons, so it was told by my father, and so I tell you today now. Be a good come and go fetch me some more moon sugar for these sweet cakes. It seems to me a little more than a boast, but certain facts do seem to line up with what we believe is truth behind the legends. And the raised question as to why am I not getting attacked now? Know about the history of Khajiit and what parts they played out, and it might not have been recorded by our written histories. And this is nothing but... there's a sky shard, yes. Sorcery is not necromancy by this guy who I need to work with, apparently. Empowering illusion such as my... Yup, that's him. Alright. Yes, that power exertion myself immediately tips me off to him. Maybe called upon to exercise his skill in almost any corner of far-flung Tamriel. For native Morrowind, I am widely traveled, thus I can tell you with authority. Whistle. Local officials regardless of race or culture. Really suspicion ill-informed. A sorcerer, huh? You know, well, I've none of you raising the dead in this jurisdiction that I understood. How many times I have been subject to some variation of the above conversation. I have these ignorant and self-important functionaries, whatsoever the distinction between the arcane arts. As they're concerned, even manipulating Magicka is just waiting for midnight before skulking off to the cemetery because of their neighbors and ancestors. Those fools, bureaucrats. Now, it's true, of course, that conjuration is common tool of sorcery. Sorcerers often resort to summoning aid from oblivion. I can reassure me, sorcerers often resort to summoning aid from oblivion when a problem is best solved. Usually the application of vicious brute force. Unless someone dare to experience to possess and reanimate corpses or calling up the souls of the dead for information and other services. True necromancy is a subset of the art of conjuration. By inherent... Yep. And possessing animate corpses or calling out the souls. Short necromancy is a subset of the art of conjuration, by inherently distasteful and degrading. However, to infer from this that all souls are defective necromancers, as well as false, meaning, and libelous. Yes. Anyways, I'm gonna get attacked, and I will defend myself if I get attacked mid episode. Yeah, I guess this would be mid episode though. So enjoy seeing you. See you.